barbecue, baseball, and racing. Woohoo! Welcome to Kansas City, where we're about to qualify the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series for tomorrow night's race on FS1. That is Matt Kenseth's crew, some of whom are pushing the car toward, is that toward the line or back to their garage stall or to the next spot in inspection? Yes.
It is. Mm-hmm.
It's a process.
Mm-hmm.
Look up from the monitor. There's the camera. Hi, everybody.
We're on the air.
Last week, Kyle Larson and Kevin Harvick started up on the front row. We finished a marathon 2.5-hour first and final practice. It's kind of like the Fifth Third Bank thing. First and final. And the same two guys are at the top of the heap. Coincidence? Probably not.
Probably not. But you know what? Everybody always says, so what do you take away from qualifying? Well, first of all, who's going to win the pole, pit selection. But you know what? You can learn a lot about your car in these qualifying sessions. You put new tires on, you go out and you see, okay, I got a really fast car for one lap. Then you go back out the next time, whoa, maybe my car's not going to be so good on the long run. So I think you can glean a lot out of practice getting ready for the race tomorrow night based on your qualifying effort.
Yeah, no, I definitely think you know whether you have a fast car, you build confidence up, certainly know what the heights are going to be. At nighttime, tomorrow in the race, even though they're going to take some tape off the front grille, the cars are still going to get down in the racetrack. I think the groove's going to change for the race versus qualifying, but I think that wind might have a little bit of a factor. We've seen a pretty strong crosswind coming through the racetrack today.
Will anybody qualify in the high groove and not on the bottom?
I think they'll come to the green in the high groove, maybe the middle groove. I don't know if we'll see anybody actually qualify. Maybe if we see it round 3 as those tires start to give up.
That's what I think. As they go along, the tires give up a little bit. You might move up the track a little bit.
Okay. Let's have a look at practice results. There they are, Harvick and Larson right at the top with Kyle Busch and Eric Jones. Last week's second and third place finishers, Boyer and Suarez, Almirola, Buescher, Blaney, and Truex had the fastest individual laps. Here's the rest of the top 20. Not everybody found speed. Jimmy Johnson in 21st with teammate Alex Bowman. Joey Logano back at 25th.
Yeah, I don't think Joey actually made a qualifying run, so I think I'm going to be really curious to see him put that thing into qualifying trim.
I bet Matt Kenseth surprises us all how well he qualifies.
Let's find out. He's with Jamie Little.
Well, after 6 months off, finally the wait was over, got back in the car. You turned 38 laps, didn't make a mock qualifying run, Matt, but, well, how was reality compared to expectation?
I didn't really have much for expectations coming in here. Today has not been a very smooth day so far, so I was hoping to be a little smoother. I was hoping to have a little bit more speed, but we worked really hard out in practice. I feel like we got closer at the end of practice. I don't know that it's close to really where we want it to be, but I feel like we made some headway.
What is it like coming into this team? They've been together a while, but you're the new guy on the block. You have a different teammate in Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and just trying to jump in that seat and tell them right away what their car feels like and where they need to be better.
Well, I'm trying to catch up, really to Ricky and those guys more than the other way around at the moment. So I'm hoping that we can get running better and keep improving. Hopefully qualify decent tonight, improve tomorrow and next week and so on. So just trying to get caught up a little bit really and kind of get acclimated to the team and kind of what we need.
All right, Matt Kenseth scheduled for 7 races that we know of, but many more races to be determined. Mike?
Well, what I like is Matt is smiling and laughing as he's talking about it. That's a good sign. When we come back, Larry McReynolds and our Ford Performance car will take a look at some of the things they're concentrating on in inspection. Kevin Harvick with a smile walking through the garage. But where is his car? It is still in inspection.
It's in the garage.
As are quite a few of the contenders have not emerged from NASCAR's inspection process and made it out to the qualifying line as yet. NASCAR's concentrated on different issues during the last couple of weeks, one of which is that front splitter. Larry McReynolds.
Yeah, Mike, it's amazing. One crew chief told me we have a 3,350-pound race car with hundreds of working components, and the most important item on this race car is the front splitter. What NASCAR told the crew chiefs a couple of weeks ago, this entire area of the splitter, everything about that splitter has to be perfectly flat. What teams were doing last year, and they started doing it again this year, is you would do things like you would maybe scallop this out just a little bit, just raise that up a little bit, maybe over here on the corners, and that creates front downforce. What they discovered at Dover, the splitters were flat, but the way they were mounting them up, pulling the boats tight, that was creating some of that area that creates more downforce, and that's a few of the issues right now. I think it's all over the place. I think templates, OSS, optical scanning system, but there's also some front splitter issues going on down there right now. We are right at about 23 or 24 cars through inspection of the 38 that's here.
So that means there's at least a dozen still working their way through inspection. We come to Kansas. We always like to talk about the home state heroes. Jamie.
And Clint Bowyer is definitely one of them. And when you look at his stats on this year, you are having a career best start to a season after 11 races. You have the win, finished second last week. How awesome is it for you to come back to your home track with maybe your best chance at winning here?
Well, I can certainly tell you I'm having fun, but to be back home in Kansas, just feels good, especially coming off some of these strong runs, unloaded off the truck fast again. I think we're back here in doomsday right now, but hopefully we'll get out of this thing. They'll pull the curtain and we'll be able to go out and put on a show. Fast racetrack, man. A lot of fun. This place is one of the first ones that got repaved and has kind of aged really well. Changed the banking when they did that and woke this place up, I think, for the better, and has put it on some great racing. So Fords are fast. We're certainly in one, and hopefully this will be our year. It would be awesome to be able to win here.
So you own a car dealership here in Kansas by your hometown or in your hometown, and you said if anybody wanted to buy a certain car or truck, you would personally deliver it. How many of those are you personally delivering?
Casey told me we got a few of those to deliver tomorrow. Looking forward to that. We have a suite up there that they're going to be able to come up and enjoy and enjoy a good race. But it's just fun. It's fun to be able to tie that into our world of racing and to the fans. You know, the fans are what make this sport go, and it's going to be a lot of fun to deliver their new vehicle that they can drive home from a wonderful race. Hopefully they'll be celebrating with us, then they can drive home hungover.
Well, there you have that, too. And then you're going to need something to eat. Clint, you've been in the booth before. You know that food is a big part of being in the booth. DW is hungry. Where should he go to get some food around this place?
Man, I'm thinking DW is, you know, he's an upscale guy. Thinks he's a big deal and a legend in his own mind. Probably Jack Stack's down in the plaza. That's where I go. My man, come on, D.
Hey, how about bringing it to me?
I'm going with you. I love that place.
Yeah,
He's really not that savvy. I know it says that on his cap, but they announced IT Savvy as a new several race sponsor for his number 14.
You know why he's happy?
Why?
Isn't it funny when you're running well, everything's going good, the race team, the car and everything, you're so happy about everything. I'm happy about this, and I'm happy this is the greatest track, and I love this sport, and I love these people. This is so much fun.
I love having that Clint Bowyer back, because the last couple of years have not been that exciting and fun for him. That's cool.
See there?
Well, earlier today, the track had to do what one rider who I won't name described as popping a big zit on the surface of turn 2. What, you won't believe this, we didn't. But look at the pressure that is relieved there. And then go ahead.
I just think they were relieving some pressure. That's what I think. There was obviously some water pressure underneath there that needed to be relieved.
And so that former weeper is no more and is not causing trouble for the drivers throughout the whole rest of practice nor through truck qualifying.
Cheapers creepers. Where'd you get those weepers?
So we're good to go. All we need is cars out on track, and qualifying will begin shortly.
Hey everybody, I'm real excited for qualifying.
Decided to go to qualifying. Qualifying hasn't been great for us this year, but we got hopefully we got some speed in the car here in Kansas. Hope you guys enjoy.
All right, we're ready to go qualify here in Kansas Speedway. My car was really fast in practice, so hopefully we can put this Smithfield Ford Fusion on the pole.
I believe it. That background sound was the wind. And by the way, that's about as excited as Matt Kenseth gets.
I know.
Right?
When Jamie was talking, I said, look, that's Matt Kenseth when he's really excited.
Yeah.
Here's a guy that I don't know if it's going to be too excited. Not because he's talking to the...
They're going the wrong way, boys.
Is that the
That was
State Police.
State Police.
State Police.
I don't like the
But his
looks of that.
car is going the wrong way.
They may know him from when he lived here
I bet they do.
and had frequent contact with those fellows. It's entirely possible. Jamie.
And Ricky Stenhouse Jr., their car is out here on the grid. You guys cleared qualifying, or pre-race inspection, I should say, post or pre-qualifying. There's so many that you guys have to go through at this point. Tell us about your car, and it seems like you do run a little bit higher line than a lot here.
Yeah, it's, for, whatever reason, we come to Kansas, we practice, and I feel like I practice in the higher lane, the middle groove, top groove. Sometimes I qualify the bottom, but it seems like when I get in the race here, for whatever reason, I end up running bottom more than I run the top. So, I do think that there's speed at the top of the racetrack here. But for whatever reason, like I said, at least during the day races, we'll see what happens at night, tomorrow night. It always changes the way the track drives. But, we did make it through qualifying pre-tech, which is good. So we'll be able to go out and make some laps. Sunny D Ford's been pretty good. I think we didn't run as many laps as we wanted to in practice. When they said they kind of threw a wrench in our system and our plan when they merged the two practices together, and we kind of waited to go out. Well, then we had a weeper over there in turn 2 that they were working on, and it kind of threw us off a little bit. But all in all, I think we got a decent car for this weekend.
Thanks, Ricky.
26 cars are online, which means all but 2 right now would make it through to round 2. Oh, and the
that's not good.
He got some bad news there, and probably not from the state police, but there's the bad. Well, which way are we going now? Are we going back to the inspection line?
I think it will go around in circles. That's the question.
Yep.
You start flirting with getting your car chief suspended if you fail too many times. I think that number is 3 times, maybe 4 times. So, we've seen some teams weigh out, do we want to keep fighting this battle and maybe lose our car chief, which the car chief is like the assistant head coach. I mean, he's really the hands-on guy on that race car. So you really have to weigh out how many times you want to keep fighting this battle and take a chance at losing your car chief.
And there are some big cars in that line. Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin. You saw Matt DiBenedetto's car.
Lester Alton talking to Kevin, and
that's Matt Kenseth's.
Everybody's talking to each other, and
see Michael McDowell's back there, Jamie McMurray's, and a lot of contenders still trying to get through inspection.
A little follow-up on Clint Boyer in the 14 car. His car chief, Jerry Cook, remember, he's suspended for 2 points races after the rule infraction in post-race from Dover. So I guess the substitute car chief, if indeed they fail too many times, he would be the one that would be suspended.
Well, Larry, if I understand right, it's NASCAR discretion on which crew member would be sent home if they go through inspection too many times. It doesn't have to be the car chief.
It doesn't. You're absolutely right. But I think they feel like, Mike, that the car chief is probably a harder hit than the crew chief. And I know that maybe doesn't sound right. That crew chief can still do a big part of his job when he's not on site. But when that car chief is out of here, as I said, he's the hands-on guy on that race car.
Okay. Let's go back to Jamie with Joey Logano.
And he is a 2-time winner here, 1-time pole sitter. So what do you do with all this extra time? I know you're always the first out here and you're always waiting.
I know. I hate being late. I get all stressed out. So, and then I get in the car and I get more antsy. And I tell Todd it's like putting a horse in the gate too soon. You got to time it. So, I don't know. I'm talking to you, I guess.
It's not a bad thing. And fill us in on your day. Talk about your race car. Should we expect a second pole from you?
It's a little bit of an unknown. We didn't make a qualifying run in practice, so we just focused on race trim with our AAA Ford Fusion, and so qualifying is a little bit of an unknown. We're leaning on some of our teammates. They had okay speed in practice, and I thought we were okay in race trim as well. So we're just kind of going off our typical changeover from race trim to qualifying trim, and hopefully that balance is close. The track's conditions are quite a bit different than practice anyway, so it's a little bit of an unknown for some people, but probably more for us than others. So, hey, hammer down and hold your breath and hope for the best.
And the MO for the 22 team, they don't like to do mock qualifying runs. Just go for it. See what they have.
There you go. All right, Joey Logano, Todd Gordon at the ready, as are others. Kevin Harvick's car still in inspection. Thumbs up. And he will get to qualify. Now, the session will have started by the time they get to pit road, so he'll have to be in the car and drive it out onto pit road rather than push it out, because we are underway with round 1 of knockout qualifying. And still 10 cars in the garage are going through inspection.
Yeah, and only 14.5 minutes to go in this session to get that opportunity to get on track. Now, this is pretty much what I expected. We see Ryan Blaney here using a higher line. You can really come to the green with a lot of speed and momentum by running that higher line.
So 12 cars usually pretty fast, so it'd be a good barometer here, what we got to deal with.
Yeah, I think he was our pole sitter here a year ago.
Track record of 27:30 in no jeopardy this weekend.
No, not even
A
close.
lot of changes have been made since that happened.
Car looks good. The 12 does. Down on the bottom there. Nice into 3. Tight off of 4. Drops her on the apron. And
no out of bounds here. 28.56.
And that's a half a second faster than what we saw in practice. So speeds are up. Track temps down.
Ty Dillon and Corey LaJoie out for their runs.
Guys, I think conditions are perfect right now. We still have a little breeze, little wind, but nothing like what we had earlier today with that tailwind down the back straightaway.
Darrell,
Yes.
how perfect is it?
well, as the density of the air increases, the drag coefficient increases. And right now the air density is right around 2.14 pounds per cubic foot. So I think it's going to get better as we go into the evening. Cars will get faster.
And I am not digging you out of this hole.
My question, Darrell, is as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wants to run that higher lane, does the air density go up?
Oh, well, anytime you run a higher line, it's a little less.
Oh, because you're at more altitude?
Higher up, yeah.
I knew it.
You are going to find out one of these days.
You blinded me with science. Okay.
Oh, I got a lot more. I did a lot of research while we had a break.
Saw BJ McLeod in the 51. Here's Martin Truex getting up to speed.
Yeah, I think some pretty decent pressure on this team this weekend. Won both of these races here at Kansas last year. They were dominant on mile and a halves, and we've seen speed out of them sporadically, but not quite what we've seen.
Pretty good. It seems pretty good here. Packing the throttle hard. I mean, wasn't out of gas long on either end of the racetrack.
Yeah,
Let's see what he got.
nice smooth lap, but not the speed we've seen out of them in the past. Let's see if they can step it up today.
Chris Buescher was 7th in practice earlier, and he's 2nd on the board right now. 28.90.
Wow,
good
that's
lap.
fantastic.
That's an amazing
Chris
run.
Buescher, yeah, he
Yes.
was really good in practice and backs it up.
Tell you what, if you're hungry, I know where to go get food.
Bowman to 2nd.
They got more stickers on that car than any car I ever saw. I mean, you think it's a grocery store on wheels.
It takes a village. Brad Kozlowski. Daniel Suarez, Jimmy Johnson, that's back at the inspection tent. Neither of those cars have emerged. William Byron. And Kozlowski is 3rd, 28.84.
Mike,
On the left, that is Austin Dillon.
You know, Mike, that lap that Blaney put up, that 28.56, that is a pretty fast lap compared to what we've seen in practice and already in this much of the qualifying session.
Yeah, I expected them to pick up a few tenths. I didn't expect them to pick up a half a second from practice.
That's big.
Byron 5th quickest, 28.99. And Dillon 8th, 29.21. Here's Ricky Stenhouse.
You know, if you're Jimmy Johnson sitting back there in the inspection line, you're looking at your teammates. Bowman's in 2nd, Byron's in 5th. You're saying, man, get this car through inspection. I want to get out there and put down a lap like that.
AJ Allmendinger on the right. Landon Castle also out there.
Boy, Ricky really sailed. Ricky Stenhouse sailed that thing in the 3rd turn, slid up the hill a little bit. I don't know if it hurt his speed or not. We'll see.
He tends to run a little bit higher line, so I don't know if that was purely by choice.
4th.
I think he may have over exceeded the speed limit getting into turn 3 because he drove that thing in hard.
8th for Allmendinger.
I think he was expecting a
and
little
13th
more.
for Castle as Clint Boyer and NASCAR Vice Chairman Mike Helton talk things over.
Well, one of them's talking anyway. The other one's just listening.
Ryan Newman, and on the left, Eric Jones. Jones was 4th in practice speeds. Newman was 13th.
Newman always gets more out of his car qualifying than that car is capable of. He's just a phenomenal qualifier.
He is. You can just look at him and tell he would just grab that steering wheel and wheel that car around the track.
Yeah, he paced the Childress affiliated cars in practice. Paul Menard out there. Menard 2nd, 28.74. And Eric Jones 5th, 28.84. Newman 9th, 28.99. Eric Almirola is going to be close. 2nd, 28.66.
Nice run by him.
What a solid weekend he's having so far.
Like he said, Jeff, thing was fast off the truck. Good in practice, and he backed it up with a nice lap.
9th for number 9, Chase Elliott. Kevin Harvick, green light, lower right.
This is when the competition was saying, man, did he have to get through inspection?
Yeah. Listen, did you hear that thing dig up off the corner, though?
Oh, but he doesn't get to the top.
Logano 5th, Harvick 2nd, 28.56 with a 9.
Yeah.
Blaney 56 with a 5.
5, yeah. And that 4 car, though, it's really where I think they have so much speed is center of the corner off. He can just get back in that throttle, stays in the gas, and that thing digs up out of the hole.
You saw Daniel Suarez climbing aboard his Toyota. He was 6th in practice, coming off a 3rd place finish last week.
Boy, look at that tack. I think it just barely went. Then it just went down to 7,000. I don't think it even went.
So that leaves 8 cars still in the inspection line with 7 minutes 45 to go.
No, that's 8,000. It just barely went to 8,000.
I really like how he made a late entry and was able to pull it back down to the white line on the exit of turn 4.
Kurt Busch 4th, 28.74. And right now, the top 6 and 8 of the top 10 are Fords in round 1.
Boy, they're running out of time for those that are trying to get through the end of that inspection line. Only 7 minutes to go. Takes a couple minutes to get yourself buckled in.
Greg Galding on your left and Denny Hamlin.
You know, one thing I noticed in all the cars we've had the in-car cameras in, they all have a tack this week. Normally they got the lights, and I don't know if we ever even
noticed. It looks
noticed.
more like an analog
gauge.
And
so it's a little bit different looking than I think what I've seen in the past.
Hamlin is 12th, and bumping begins. B.J. McLeod's been bumped by Landon Castle. This is Kyle. Is this Kyle Larson? It is.
Kyle Larson, I think, coming to start his lap. Carries a lot of speed off of turn 4 into turn 1. Can he maintain that speed through turns 1 and 2? He's good, but he's still losing a little bit off of turn 2.
Turn 2, we talked earlier in practice, Jeff. Everybody just told me that's a really hard turn to get off of.
Boy, now he's going to run a high line even through 3 and 4 the second time by. Now watch him gain it back.
He's going to like this.
Yeah, look at that, how he gained it back on the exit.
3rd for Kyle Larson, 28.61.
High, wide, and handsome right there.
That will bump Landon Castle. Reed Sorensen on the hot seat now. Kyle Busch and David Reagan on your screen. Kyle Busch was 3rd fastest in practice.
Also running a higher line through 1 and 2. Haven't seen, I don't know if we've seen anybody run quite that high through 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2, they've been pretty kind of right on the bottom. 3 and 4 here, as you see. Middle to upper part of the track seem to be a favorite spot for a lot of guys.
Just wonder if they're having a hard time holding that white line in bottom. Maybe it's a little rougher or bumpier down there on the bottom. Kyle Busch goes to 7th.
Jimmy Johnson has cleared practice. He's climbing aboard, ready to go. And we'll change our tracker to the bubble spot, which right now is Corey LaJoie in 24th. Greg Galding has been bumped from the top 24. We still have 5 minutes to go in round 1. Both Jimmy Johnson and Daniel Suarez have cleared inspection and getting ready to go. Now Ross Chastain trying to bump in and knock out Corey LaJoie.
Carried good speed into the corner, just couldn't quite complete it off the exit, but so close. 25th.
One spot away, missed it by 9/100ths.
Suarez getting ready to go out, and you saw him and Jimmy Johnson a little bit ago stand over by the inspection station, and now we're got Jimmy's car. I think it's through.
Well, I just don't think. Jimmy's in there.
They're through inspection.
They just still have a few final things that they have to do.
Larry,
heights.
A few. Look like a whole crew's
I just
working
don't
on
know
it.
if they're going to have enough time to actually make it out there in 4 minutes.
So, Larry, once you're released from the tent, what goes on there just before you roll out to pit road as the driver climbs aboard?
The car has a strut on all corners that holds it at a specific height for NASCAR to do all their checking. Those struts have to come off, and then you have to adjust the rounds in the rear of the car. In my book, if you've not cleared that OSS tent, that white tent, if you've not cleared that with more than 3 minutes to go, there you see Jamie McMurray's car coming out. I don't see how you can get the driver buckled in, air pressure set, struts out, heights adjusted, and you only have less than 3 minutes to go. And to me, one car that's not going to make it is Clint Boyer in the 14 car. He has not even made it to the OSS yet.
The cars on my list that have not come out yet are Matt Kenseth, Clint Boyer, Matt DiBenedetto, Michael McDowell, Timmy Hill, and Casey Kane. This is the onboard camera on Matt Kenseth's car inside the discotheque.
So they have to get out of there pretty quick within about the next 30 or 40 seconds to get everything done, Mike, to get Matt out there.
Thanks, Larry. Now here's Daniel Suarez, 6th fastest in practice. That green light means he is in position to bump Corey LaJoie.
You know, Mike, we heard Joey Logano talk about getting in the car too soon, getting a little antsy.
Onto the hot seat. Austin Dillon 1 spot away. He is 1 spot safe. That's why he's lined up there in case he has to make a run to bump back into the top 24. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left.
And Mike, you're going to need to be leaving pit road with somewhere around 35 to 36 seconds to go to start that lap.
No pressure.
Yeah. You got everybody in the garage working on it. I know that.
Jamie McMurray's car is parked next to Jimmy Johnson's. He has also cleared the inspection tent. You see him in the background and trying to get his car ready and get McMurray out to make a run.
And Mike, when you're sitting in a car like Jimmy Johnson is, and all these people around the car doing all these different things, in your mind you're saying, well, I hope everybody gets their, I hope they do it right. I hope everybody does everything that's supposed to get done here. Makes you a little nervous.
Looks to me like the one of Jamie McMurray and his team did all those things that you need to do that Larry McReynolds listed much quicker than the 48 team did. I don't know if the 48 had another issue. I saw some wheel spacers that they were looking at putting on.
Yeah, I saw him jacking up, pulling tires off on the 48 car. Now it looks like right now he's leaving pit road. He should be able to get a lap started.
So Ty Dillon is already on track. He must assume that he's going to be bumped by one of the drivers rolling out here. So he's going to go ahead and make a second run,
and
trying to improve his time of 29.66.
As soon as he rolled and the 48 rolled off the end of pit road, all of a sudden Darrell Wallace Jr. and David Reagan, they started rolling down to the end of pit road also.
I just know, Mike, from my own experience, when I have to roll out like Jimmy Johnson just did, I like a second or two just to get my thoughts together before I go attack the racetrack. Jeff always talks about making a commitment. You got to be committed. Boy, you got to have a lot of trust in your team when you go out in a situation like this.
All right, Matt Kenseth's car has also cleared the tent. Based on Larry's numbers, looks like he will not be able to get out and get around to start a lap before time expires.
Ty Dillon picked up his lap time, but it did not move him further up. It just kept him at 24th.
This car looks good, though. We're getting a nice lap in here, I think, by Jimmy Johnson. It's going to be a pretty nice run.
So as time expires, Johnson 21st is in.
All cars can come back.
Ty Dillon is out. And Austin Dillon trying to hang on against Jamie McMurray. One of those two drivers is in and one will be out.
Well, McMurray's going to have to put a pretty good 3 and 4 together. He didn't get through 1 and 2 very good.
Dillon ran slower on his second lap, and McMurray bumps him 23rd for Jamie Mack. David Reagan on the bubble, and Austin Dillon misses it by 1.
Got 2 Dillons with 1 lap. Knocked them both out. Both Dillons out at the same time.
Jamie?
Well, Clint Bowyer's car didn't make it through for a third time. They didn't have enough time. Clint, how do you describe the feelings now knowing you don't get a chance to qualify at your home track?
Well, I guess, Matt Kenseth's big debut, being in a 6 car, not getting out on a racetrack, probably isn't very good either. But me being at home, that's a pretty good story. Nah, we're stuck back there in jail. I mean, I don't know. Pretty bad taste in my mouth right now. It's hard not to go off because it's frustrating. I mean, you sit there and watch the guys. I mean, the body was off. They made some adjustments, went back through, and then the chassis off. And then I watched them. They didn't even jack it up. They didn't even do anything. They just pushed it back in here, pushed it back over there. The body was good, and then the chassis off. So it's just super frustrating to be able to not get on the track. We were 5th quick in practice, and everybody's got a job to do. NASCAR has a job to do, and it's it's hard. It's difficult to do and regulate and govern a sanctioning body and everybody on a fair level playing field. But I don't think this is the answer either. This doesn't look very good.
Thanks, Clint. Mike?
Bowyer, Casey Kane, Matt Kenseth, McDowell, DiBenedetto, and Timmy Hill did not get to run in round 1, where Ryan Blaney is fastest. So at the end of round 1, positions 25 through 38 are locked in. The Dillon brothers missing it by just that much in the final minute of qualifying. And from Clint Bowyer on down, everybody lines up in order of car owner points. Back to Matt DiBenedetto and Timmy Hill. Austin Dillon was in round 2 until the last couple of seconds, Jamie.
And the 48 jumped in, and Austin Dillon is the first one out. He'll start 25th tomorrow night. Where'd you feel like you lost that little bit of time?
I think when we entered turn 1 there, I got on the splitter really hard and just washed up the track and had to wait a long time to get to the gas. So just working on our attitude. We really didn't make a qualifying run in practice. We were more focused for the race tomorrow night, but I was hoping we could lean on our teammate to kind of get us in qualifying. And I knew the first lap was going to be kind of a guess, and it was, but we just missed it in our second attempt there and got on the splitter and kind of plowed. So we'll keep working hard to make these cars better and see what we can do on tomorrow night. Thanks.
So close for Austin Dillon. So 24 drivers will move into round 2 of 3-round knockout qualifying, including Jamie Mack, and led by Ryan Blaney and Kevin Harvick. I know it looks silly, but don't you wish you were the inventor that got the royalties for that? I do.
Yes,
hey,
I do.
Good seats available for tomorrow night's race here at Kansas Speedway. There is the website and the phone number for you to get yours. Nice hot day and cool racing at night. Getting ready for round 2, Jamie.
Well, Kyle Larson cleared a pre-qualifying techno problem, and his crew chief, Chad Johnston, though, you've been in this situation. Chad, what are the different things that we're seeing these cars and teams have to deal with once they qualify for qualifying, basically?
Yeah, you have to go through the Hawkeye at 6 and 8, so you have to take ride height blocks out or packer out of the shocks. You have to hook the bar, and then wheel spacer, whatever you fail in the LIS or the chassis portion of the Hawkeye. So it can take you a different amount of time just based off of whatever they find in there that's wrong.
And then you calculate putting the driver in there, getting on their belts hooked up, their helmets, and the air pressure, Mike.
Thanks, Jamie. Eric Almirola wastes no time in getting out there to post his lap for round 2.
So that's confusing to me. Take the car into the technician and get it in line, and there you get it inspected, and it's okay in there, and then you bring it out and start undoing stuff. Seems backwards to me.
Now, typically, when you see somebody roll off like we saw Eric Almirola wanted to be that first car on track, there's two things I believe is going on. One is they're looking at tire temperature, of wanting the optimal tire temperature of how long it sat between the first round and second round, and then also trying to get as clean of a racetrack as possible. He definitely upped the racetrack more than we've seen anybody so far through 1 and 2.
Yeah, and you know what else is going to happen to him? I'm afraid he's going to run up on that car that's right ahead of him. I don't know if that's going to be a factor or not. It may be okay.
He's running little bit lower line, but I agree, Darrell.
He may not catch that car because that is Kyle Larson.
That was pretty close.
Yep. Almirola 28.79. That is a little more than a tenth off of his first round time. Ryan Blaney also a tenth and a half off of round one, but he's fastest. Stenhouse third.
Yeah, Blaney right back to the top again. So
Larson's going to flirt. Oh, he's going to come around.
Lock it down there, the 9 coming outside.
I was just about to say, boy, he's really getting high, and I think he just got into where.
I don't think he did. He hit anything?
No, he didn't hit anything. Got real close to the right rear on the wall in the middle of 3 and 4. You know, there's just an area that's cleaned off with the rubber, and he just gets above it. See that gray area? That's really dirty up there.
Yeah, in his world, that would be called.
Oh, he did touch the right, just a corner of the right rear bumper.
He jumped the cushion. That's what in the sprint car world. That's what they say when you get up over those marbles and stuff. Yeah, they must have just barely kissed it because I don't see, from our vantage point, a lot of damage or any damage.
Lock it down there, the 9 coming outside.
So we're under the red flag. We have halted qualifying for round 2. And Larry, what happens next with Kyle Larson?
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I do not see that they're going to give him another set of tires. And the other thing we're going to need to find out for Sunday or for Saturday night, tomorrow night for the race, remember you have to start the race on your qualifiers. So if they're going to have to change those tires. They're killed. So would that regulate him to the back of the field? That's just something we'll have to find out on that one. But I do not see them giving him another set of tires to go out there because it would be sticker brand new tires, which would be a huge advantage.
And he completed the lap.
A number of drivers were on track when Larson spun. We'll review them for you after this. But once again for qualifying, Kevin Harvick upper left goes to the top, 28.55. Martin Truex upper right, Joey Logano down on the bottom there along with Chris Buescher. Cars that were on track when Kyle Larson spun: Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, and Alex Bowman.
Yeah, so basically all those cars came back down pit road and are trying to cool everything back down to get as much temp out of the tires, the engine, the water temp, so that they can have a car capable of moving on to round 3. Pretty unfortunate for those cars that were out there.
We are told that Larson did complete a lap, even though he spun at turn number 4. Darrell was right. We talked during the break. He did come across the line and then come around and go to his pit stall.
Yeah, if he'd have done that coming to maybe start the lap in round 1 and had not completed a lap, they would give him a set, Mike. But we're already into qualifying. He had already completed a full lap in the first round.
So he had already posted a time, so he was ineligible to get fresh tires. Understood, Larry. Thanks. Whew. Alex Bowman.
Glad we got that straightened out.
Jones 5th, Bowman 13th. Right now Stenhouse is on the bubble with a 29.10. And he is bumped. Newman goes to the bubble, 29.09.
I'm anxious to see what Kyle Busch does here, because that lap of Kevin Harvick, this impresses me. He ran faster than he ran in round 1. Everybody else has lost at least 1 or 2 tenths from their round 1 time.
Jamie?
Well, as Kyle Larson spun, I saw Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus walking back to the garage. His car sitting on pit road. I just walked down and checked with the team, and they told me he was not comfortable in that car, and instead of risking it, taking it out there and maybe wrecking it, they decided just to call it a day, and they will qualify where they did in the first round.
Wow, so Johnson, who made it to round 2, will actually get the 24th and final position in round 2 if he does not post a time.
And Mike, that was what was going through my mind when I was watching that, everybody working on that car, and Jimmy's got to get in and go out there and try to qualify. I would be nervous about that. I know these guys are pros, they do their job, but that's just a little too much to put on a driver under qualifying conditions.
All right, Kyle Busch third, bumps Suarez. Kurt Busch in sixth, bumps William Byron. Denny Hamlin's on the bubble.
And yeah, real quick, going back to the 48, they struggled in practice. I mean, he was only 21st fastest in practice. So, you know, being where the car and the balance and where it's at, Jimmy didn't feel like they were going to be able to make enough adjustments to help whatever condition they were dealing with.
I just don't. He didn't trust the car. I think that was what the bottom line. And he's a smart guy, and he's a 7-time champ. And he said maybe we shouldn't go back out.
All right, David Reagan was 16th in practice. He's 18th now at a 29.32. And Denny Hamlin holds on to the bubble spot at a 29.01 with 4 minutes remaining. And it looks like we'll have 5 more drivers make an attempt, including A.J. Allmendinger.
Allmendinger's teammate there, Buescher, he's 11th right now, so those cars have some speed in them.
So going back to what I was talking about with Harvick picking up or being about the same, the only other car that has done that is Kyle Busch. He matched his lap time from round 1. So I think those are the 2 possible cars to beat. I know Blaney's sitting there in second and has a great shot at it also, but to me, if you've made the right adjustments and have backed up what you did in round 1, you have a good shot at doing something like that again in round 3.
And you know, Jeff, I see William Byron in the 24 car moving down pit road right now with 3 minutes to go. He's outside the top dozen, 13th. If you didn't run faster from round 1 to round 2, I don't know how you would expect to go faster a second lap in round 2.
I don't either, Larry.
Yeah, once you put that heat cycle in the tires and you kind of know what you have, boy, unless you had a big moment and could make a big enough adjustment, the track bar, air pressure, there's really not a lot more you're going to do to find speed.
Well, now here's Bubba Wallace rolling out. Newman 15th, Byron was 13th, as you said, Allmendinger 17th, and Ryan Newman rolling. But, if I have a rookie driver and I ask him, you think you can get a little more? And he says, yes, go for it. Because go for it,
By all means.
Otherwise, you're 13th.
Yeah.
You're not going to advance?
Well,
give it a try.
Laps on tires are critical for the race tomorrow night. So he's got to be pretty confident that he can pick it up. And that takes a lot of confidence.
And I think you bring up a really good point, Darrell, because we saw a pretty decent amount of fall off, at least during the daytime. Maybe there won't be quite as much during the nighttime on these tires.
Bubba Wallace 20th. Here comes Byron trying to bump back in. No.
His confidence level was up. He drove it down to Topeka getting into turn 1.
Yes, he did.
Didn't he?
Yes, he did. And Newman on the apron in 15th. So 3 to go, including the number 9 of Chase Elliott.
And we're seeing a lot in the green as they turn into turn 1.
Getting off turn 2.
The 9 Chase Elliott did a pretty good job through 1 and 2 maintaining that. He's really close and flirting with it. He's going to need a big run off of this turn 4. Not going to quite be able to do it.
Nope.
Elliott 17th, 29.17. Now remember, he had his first lap disrupted by that spin by Kyle Larson. He was on track, so you might count that as an extra lap on his tires.
And Bowman was in the same case, I believe.
Bowman 19th on lap 1 with a 29.31. 43 seconds left.
Guys, I see Denny Hamlin sitting here, and remember, he's 12th. His teammate, Daniel Suarez, just left pit road. He will get a lap started, but I think Mike Wheeler and Denny Hamlin, they have to stand in the betting line that says he can't run faster. Nobody else has been able to do it.
And the one of Jamie McMurray, it looks like he started out and they've pushed him back. It looks like he will not make a run.
I think you're just weighing out your options here, Mike, and if you don't think you got a shot at picking up.
Daniel Suarez 7 seconds to get back.
Gaining. He's gaining a little bit down the back straightaway.
14th, 29.09.
I like how he drove in nice and easy. Can he really pull off some more speed. No, it doesn't look like. Yeah, I thought he drove it nice and easy and was going to get back to the throttle early to get that speed back.
Trying to bump his teammate Denny Hamlin, and 29.12 on the second lap for Suarez. Kevin Harvick had to race his way out to the track after getting out of inspection late, but he responds by being fastest in round 2. The times that are locked in for positions 13 through 24. Kyle Larson spun, did not complete a lap. Jimmy Johnson elected not to run, and Jamie McMurray's car would not restart. So they are lined up in the order of their times that were posted in round 1. And Larry, once again, if they change tires on that 42 for the race, what happens?
Yeah, I have confirmed it with Series Director Richard Buck for the Cup Series, and if they do change those tires on that 42, and I don't see any way they have to change those tires because of what they went through, it would be an unapproved tire change, so that means for the second week in a row, the 42 car would have to start at the rear of the field.
Thanks, Larry. Here's Jamie.
And Daniel Suarez was one of those cars hustling to make it out on pit road, and you did. You were able to qualified 14th. How was the car once you got out there?
It was okay. I definitely feel like we have more speed than that. We just missed it by a little bit. Just not as good as I was expecting. The racer gained a lot of grip and a lot of speed, and we just got a little bit too tight. The car is good. It just, it needs a little adjustment right there, but overall fine. I feel like we're going to be good for tomorrow night.
Coming off the third place finish, his best on an oval last week. They've got momentum on their side.
They sure do. Suarez pretty disappointed not to make the final round. And let's show you the slide by Kyle Larson once again that will leave him officially 22nd in the field, but likely starting at the rear after torturing these tires here. And as you ride along, you'll hear him just clip the wall just a little bit with that right rear corner.
Just kissed it.
Well, the tires weren't the only thing that locked up. So did our tape machine there. How does that happen?
Pretty wild to see how the air exits under that hood when that car starts to spin around. That air comes in those wheel wells.
No Coke stickers were harmed in that spin. And let's take a look at the 12 drivers who will move on to the final round and run for the Busch pole.
Can anybody beat Kevin Harvick right now? That guy is on a roll.
Got a big gap there between he and Ryan Blaney. That's going to be the battle, it looks like.
I don't know. Eric Almirola really liked his car. We're about to find out. A lot of Fords in that group. Well, we know who the fastest Chevrolet in the final round will be. It's that one. Chris Buescher is the only Camaro to make it into the final dozen.
And
here we go.
I take my hat off to Chris Buescher. He's been solid in practice through round 1, through round 2, and he's made it to round 3. Great job to he and that team.
Yes, sir. Almirola says, I'm going to be the first one out. I'm going to get my lap in here. I'm going to see what I got.
Wasting no time to get up to speed either.
Mike, I just love the sound of these engines today are so crisp, just so clean running, and they just make a beautiful sound.
You can see how these drivers just flirt right there on the edge of where the rubber has laid down the track on the high line to get as much momentum as possible. I'm excited about this race tomorrow night because we're seeing multiple grooves here in qualifying materialize. That ought to make for some great racing lines.
Looks like Almirola's up a little bit off turn 2 there.
He did that the first round. I mean, the last round in round 2.
He was 204 miles an hour into turn 1.
Well, that'll make you slide up a little bit. Slide up in the seat everywhere else.
Nice
28.81. That's only a 2/100th of a second fall off from round 2.
I think he knew he had a good race car.
Yep.
I don't think he beat Harvick or Blaney, but that's a good run.
Here's somebody else I want to applaud. He didn't even make a qualifying run in practice today, and here they are in round 3 in second.
29.04 for Logano. Now that's 0.2 off of his second round.
Brad Keselowski is right there, putting a nice lap together.
It's coming down.
Second, 28.91. He's only 1/100th off his round 2 lap time.
Let's see if they got a surprise in it. I thought this car would run a little bit better with Martin Truex Jr. here, but we'll see how it goes in qualifying.
You can see he chose to run a little bit lower line, didn't run that super high line coming to the lane. It's kind of the same thing here, just about a car width up from the bottom of the racetrack. Boy, it sounds good, looks good. Needs 8/100ths through 3 and 4.
We got back in it wide open, didn't mess around.
Didn't get that launch.
No, I
the
don't
other
think
way.
he got out of the corner too good.
Third for Truex, 29 flat. Buescher on the left. Denny Hamlin on the right. Hamlin used up all the racetrack.
Yes, he did.
Coming off the corner. Third for Hamlin, 28.96. Faster than he was in round 2. And Buescher 8/100ths off his round 2 time, 29.08 in 6th.
Now this is the car Paul Menard's driving for Wood Brothers. This car sat on the pole last year at this race with Ryan Blaney driving.
I think he definitely got pushing off turn 2. Car got a little high off that corner with Menard.
Harvick, green light. Blaney flirting with it.
Oh boy, look at this lap Harvick is putting together. Yeah. It just continuing to increase. He's going to be 2/10 up on the field.
Menard 7th.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
All right.
5.69, 5.56 to a 6.00. Those are his 3 rounds.
And Blaney second at a 28.75. Spoiler alert for you Indy fans. In the Penske number 12, Will Power has won the pole for the Indy Grand Prix for Team Penske in the 12. So a little mojo there for Blaney. Almost paid off. Eric Jones and the Busch brothers out there. That will complete our group. Kyle Busch close. Eric Jones 10th.
I tell you what, just getting off turn 2 is so critical, and that's where we've seen guys lose a lot of time.
Kurt Busch 7th, 29.002. Kyle Busch 3rd, 28.79.
Boy, no match for Kevin Harvick in that 4 team. They have got it going on right now.
Everybody's patting each other on the back, and they should. I mean, they got the field covered right now, guys.
Kevin Harvick gets his 23rd career pole and his 4th here at Kansas. All coming in the last 10 races here. A 4 is his most at any single racetrack.
Tell you what, Mike, when everything comes together, the car, the engine, the crew chief, the driver, the sponsor, and it all comes together, and you put it in the hands of a driver like Kevin Harvick, and you're going to get this kind of result. And a lot of teams are great. Sometimes you're missing one little part here or there. This team's not missing anything.
And he really likes this racetrack too. I mean, we were talking during the break saying he's really good here. What'd you say, Daryl? He's just really good.
That's right.
Jamie.
And Kevin Harvick talking it over with his crew chief, Rodney Childers, and the feedback on the radio. It was good enough for the pole, but it sounds like you still wanted a little bit more.
I just, I hate when I don't get the most out of the car. They give me really fast race cars to drive every week, and you want to get the most out of them. But everybody did a great job on our Busch Light Ford, and we were able to get the pole. So that's obviously a big advantage here as you get that first pit stall, and any advantage that we can get, we'll take. So it's just it's a fun streak of the way the cars are running right now.
Well, you're coming off a win last weekend. Then you guys had an issue early in practice, overcame that, and then that qualifying pre-qualifying inspection, you made it out. What does that say about this team and overcoming the adversity in one single day?
Well, I think it really shows, and I talk about this a lot, it shows the experience of the race team, and going on our 5th year together, and you look at how calm everybody stays. They don't get wound up about anything. I mean, we had a bunch of trouble to start practice. We did what we had to do in race trim. We put it in qualifying trim, made one run, had inspection that we had to go back around. And so it's just an experienced race team, and that's really what makes it tick week after week. And the guys are performing at a high level. So it's fun to be a part of SHR right now.
All right, 4th pole at Kansas. No other driver's done that before, Mike.
No, and the tale of the numbers, Harvick 28.56 in round 1. 55 in round 2, and a 60 in the final round. Maybe his tires just don't wear. Kevin Harvick is our pole sitter. Since 1994, those are the only drivers to win 4 of the first 11 Cup races in a season.
You did that?
Hendrick
Wow.
teammates.
I didn't know that.
Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, 4 for 11. And here's today's front row for tomorrow night's race. Kevin Harvick on pole once again, and last year's pole winner here, Ryan Blaney, will share the front row. Jamie.
Great starting spot for Ryan Blaney, and I found you up there talking to your crew chief. Where'd you feel like you guys missed it to the 4 there in that 3rd round?
Yeah, I just I got tighter each round, and I thought the first round we were really good. We were where we needed to be, and the tires with cycles on them, I feel like they always get tighter for us here. So. And it's hard to judge how big of an adjustment you need, and I thought we made a decent swing at it the last run, and it just still wasn't enough. But really proud of our Rev Fleetwood Ford Fusion. I think this has been a good track for us, and I think we've shown pretty good speed all day, and nice to start up on the front row. That's nice. So hopefully we can have a good run tomorrow. It should be a fun night, and we'll see where you end up.
It was an interesting day indeed. They ended up combining the 2 practice sessions, giving you guys a little bit of extra time. However, the race is at night. So how do you translate what you learned today to tomorrow night?
Really just previous notes. You kind of go back and see. You look at this race over the past couple years, and you're like, okay, how are we in practice compared to what we changed in the race and how we start the race? And then you try to figure out where your car went as the race progressed. And it was pretty hot today, so that's going to make it pretty tough for us to try to figure out. But hopefully the experience we have here with a few races under our belt will help us out. They do a great job. Jeremy Bowens and everybody does a great job of transitioning from practice to the race, and hopefully we can repeat that again tomorrow night.
We had a great run in the fall here, finished 3rd.
Sure did. He will start 2nd. Kevin Harvick on the pole, of course, has also won 4 races this year. So, Jeff, you or Jimmy could go remind him that the last 2 fellows who did that went on to win the championship.
Well, he's certainly, I know it's early in the season, but boy, the way that team is performing right now, they are on their way.
And he better not blink, because there's some hungry hounds that are right on his heels right now. Blaney, Kyle Busch, Almirola. I mean, there's some guys back there that want to win a race, and they're all after old Kevin Harvick.
Kyle Larson, after that spin, will probably start in the rear. When they change tires on that car, he'll have to go to the back. Jimmy Johnson, Jamie McMurray did not make runs in round 2.
A lot of Chevrolets back here from row 9 all the way down to the tail. That's something that they're going to have to continue to work on.
Felt so bad for poor Boyer. He had a great
Matt
race
Kenseth.
car. Matt Kenseth didn't even get a chance.
None of those drivers got to qualify. Did not make it through
Didn't
inspection.
get a chance.
The hat dance.
I've never seen it done quite that quick.
That's freaky fast.
That's what happens when you do it a lot.
All right, here's one of the happy surprises of this qualifying session. Jamie?
Well, you guys talked a lot about him. Great running effort from you. You guys had a great run in this race last year. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, that was good. Just proud of these guys. I mean, this has been a good track for us. Like I said, we ran good here last year. Practice went pretty decent, and our mock run was really good. We thought we had something to go out there, and we did. We kept improving every round as far as balance. Speeds kept coming back a little bit, but we stayed in the ballpark every time, and that's really good. So, for us to be able to start top 10 with our Breyers 2-1 Camaro, that's a good day. It's a good qualifying effort. That's probably one of my top 5 best qualifying efforts I've ever had in the Cup Series. So I'm really proud of that. we're off to a good start, and I think we have a good race car as well, so we'll go get after it tomorrow.
Congratulations. We'll be watching 37, Mike.
That's his best start since he started 9th at Sonoma last June.
Yeah, his buddy Shaggy called me up, and Scrappy, not Shaggy. He was looking for a good run this weekend.
All right. We'll be right back to wrap things up. Tonight, NASCAR's toughest trucks take on Kansas. That's coming up next year on FS1, or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Friday night under the lights. Let's have a look at our Monster Energy Series pole winners so far this season. Alex Bowman in Daytona, 2 for Kyle Busch. Vegas for Ryan Blaney. Mark Truex Jr. has 3. Kurt Busch 1, Harvick now 2, and Kyle Larson last week at Dover. Trucks coming up next. Let's have a look at tomorrow's schedule. It's all on FS1. NASCAR race day, 7 Eastern. And racing, Monster Energy NASCAR Cup style at Kansas, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Hey, Jeff, pre-race show tomorrow. We're going to be outside again.
Oh, we're going to have some fun.
Yeah.
Where the action is.
Got it, buddy.
Excitement.
So we'll see you tomorrow. Trucks are next as we congratulate Kevin Harvick, who wins the Busch pole for tomorrow night's KC Masterpiece 400.